Good morning, friends. I am Professor Shreya Trivedi from AKDMC Jamnagar. In the last few lectures, we have studied about two of the great theories, that is, Ras theory and Dhvani theory of Indian poetics, or we can say Sanskrit poetics. Now, these two theories are said to be the um, one of the best theories in the world, or critical theories in the world. But there are many other theories given in Sanskrit poetics by different rhetoricians. But today we are going to start our third unit, that is Alankar theory by Bhama. Now, this Alankar theory is said to be the most debatable theories among Sanskrit poetics, or among other theories in Sanskrit poetics. Okay, the number of Alankars are debatable, and it is changing from one rhetorician to other. Alankar means, in simple sense, we can understand it as the figures of speech. The figures of speech which we learn in English. Okay, only that things are being said as Alankar by different rhetoricians, different Sanskrit rhetoricians. Now, why we use figures of speech in our poem? Because it beautifies the poem. Okay, it enhances the beauty of the poem. It enhances means what? એ પોએટ્રીની સુંદરતામાં વધારો કરે છે. Okay, so this alankars are said to be one of the important part in the poetry section. Without alankars, no poem can be classified as a good poetry or good poem. Okay, so alankar theory is the most needed theory in any of the literature. As it is so, many rhetoricians have talked about this, and due to this only many rhetoricians have different number of alankars in their theories of alankar. But here we are going to study the alankar theory by Bhama. So according to Bhama, we are studying alankar theory. First of all, let us go with the introduction part of alankar theory. In the 5th and 6th century, Bhama, the promoter of alankar tradition, introduced his theory. Okay, this theory was given by Bhama in between 5th and 6th century, and he promoted the alankar tradition. Okay, we can say the alankar tradition was started by him only. He expressed his views focusing the need of beauty in poetry writing. Okay, he said that many other rhetoricians before him have talked about ras, dhvani, etc., 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 but no one has talked about beauty in poetry writing. So he thought that he should express about the beauty or the need of beauty in poetry writing. એને એમ કીધું કે આજથી પહેલાં હંમેશા પોએટ્રી ઓર ઇન્ડિયન પોએટિક્સમાં જો સૌથી વધારે કોઈ ડિસ્કશન થયું હોય તો એ રસ અને ધ્વનિનું થયું છે. ઓકે, તો એને એવું થયું કે હું પણ મારા વ્યૂઝ એક્સપ્રેસ કરું, અને એના વ્યૂઝ શું હતા? તો કે નીડ ઓફ બ્યુટી ઇન પોએટ્રી રાઇટિંગ. એને એમ કીધું કે પોએટ્રીમાં જો બ્યુટીનેસ ન હોય, ઓકે, બ્યુટી ન હોય તો એ પોએટ્રી નકામી છે. ઓકે, the poetry will be beautiful and attractive only when the poet presents his idea in figurative language. હવે વાત આવી પોએટ્રીની, તો કે પોએટ્રી કઈ રીતે બ્યુટિફુલ થઈ શકે? હાઉ અ પોએટ્રી કેન be termed as beautiful and attractive? Okay, the normal language, okay, the day to day language which we use for speaking, that is not in figurative language. Okay, that is a common simple language. Okay, now if the common and simple language we will keep for poetry also, then there will be no difference between day to day language and poetry language. બરાબર, જો આપણે રોજિંદી ભાષા જે આપણી છે એ જ પોએટ્રીમાં વાપરીએ તો એમાં કાંઈ પણ કોઈ પણ જાતનું ન્યૂનેસ આવે નહીં. ઓકે, કોઈ ડિફરન્સ જ ના રહે પોએટ્રી લેંગ્વેજમાં અને ડે ટુ ડે લેંગ્વેજમાં. એટલે અકોર્ડિંગ ટુ ભામા એમ કહે છે કે જો પોએટ્રીને બ્યુટિફુલ બનાવે, ઇફ વન વોન્ટ્સ ટુ મેક હિઝ ઓર હર પોએટ્રી બ્યુટિફુલ, then he has to present his ideas in figurative language. તો ભામા એમ કહે છે કે જો કોઈએ પોતાની પોએટ્રી બ્યુટિફુલ બનાવી હોય ઓર એટ્રેક્ટિવ બનાવી હોય તો એને ફિગરેટિવ લેંગ્વેજમાં જ લખવી પડે. ઓકે, અકોર્ડિંગ ટુ હિમ, a woman cannot be beautiful and attractive without use of ornaments. Like the same, the poem without figures of સ્પીચ. ઓકે, એક થોટ એ મૂકે છે કે જેમ વુમન્સ, ઓકે, જેમ લેડીઝ બધા જે હોય છે એ ઓર્નામેન્ટ્સ વગર એટલા બ્યુટિફુલ નથી લાગતા જેટલા ઓર્નામેન્ટ્સ સાથે લાગે છે. તો એ જ રીતના એ કે પોયમ પણ એટ્રેક્ટિવ ત્યારે જ લાગે જ્યારે એમાં ફિગર્સ ઓફ સ્પીચ હોય. બરાબર, તમે તમારા મમ્મી હોય, યુ કેન સી યોર મધર. ઓકે, if she is wearing ornaments, she looks more and more beautiful. Okay, if she is not wearing ornaments, she looks beautiful but not that much, while she looks beautiful as wearing ornaments. Okay, so here Bhama says that as woman looks beautiful with ornaments, likewise poem will be beautiful through figures of speech. He proves that alankars are the main sources of beauty of poetry. According to him, the beauty of poetry can be seen through alankar only. Okay, અલંકાર જ એક એવી વસ્તુ છે કે જેનાથી પોએટ્રીમાં બ્યુટીનેસ આવે. Bhama strongly rejects the sound effects that add melody to the poetry. ભામા એમ નથી કહેતા કે તમે સાઉન્ડ ઇફેક્ટ્સ નાખો તો પોએટ્રી બ્યુટિફુલ અને એટ્રેક્ટિવ લાગે. ના, બરાબર, એ એમ કહે છે કે ખાલી એ વસ્તુ જરૂરી નથી પણ એને ફિગર્સ ઓફ સ્પીચ આપવી જરૂરી છે. તો જ ઓર વી કેન સે અલંકાર આપવું જરૂરી છે. બરાબર, અલંકાર વર્ડ જ ઓર્નામેન્ટ્સથી આવેલો. યુ કેન હેવ અ લુક, તમે જોઈ શકો છો કે અલંકાર એટલે આપણે જોઈએ છીએ કે in Gujarati and Hindi, ornaments are said to be alankar. Okay, and here alankar is termed as ornament for poetry only. Okay, just as the woman needs ornaments for presenting her beauty, likewise poem also has to be embedded with figures of speech to make itself beautiful. So Bhama strongly rejects the sound effects that add melody to the poetry. He states that poetry is not music. Okay, he says that poetry is not music that you present sound effects in it. Okay, એ મ્યુઝિક નથી તો એમાં તાન ને સરગમ ની બધી વસ્તુની જરૂર પડે છે. ઓકે, એ એક પોએટ્રી છે તો એ ટાઈપના જ બધા એલિમેન્ટ્સ એમાં હોવા જોઈએ. Bhama mentioned following major literary genres of kavya forms: art epic, that is Mahakavya; drama, that is Abhinayarth; third, prose chronicle, Akhyayika; romantic tale, Katha; and smaller verse units or single contained verses, that is Anubadh. Now these are some of the kavya forms. Okay, kavya na prakar je Bhamae દીધા છે, that are this 5. This school believes that there is ras riti in kavya, but alankar is dominant feature in it. હવે દરેક થિયરીની એક સ્કૂલ હોય છે કે જેમાં એ સ્કૂલમાં બેઝિકલી એ જ થિયરીની વાત કરવામાં આવે છે. સપોઝ રસ થિયરી છે તો રસ સ્કૂલ હોય છે એની. ઓકે, એન્ડ ઇફ દેર ઇઝ ધ્વનિ થિયરી, દેન ધ્વનિ સ્કૂલ ઇઝ દેર. સો લાઇકવાઇઝ હિયર અલંકાર Alankar school thinks that ras, riti, etc. are there in a poetry, but Alankar is the dominant feature. Dominant means main feature of poetry. Without it, no poetry is termed as good poetry. Udbhat, Dandi, Rudrat, Jaydev, all these are the followers of this school. Many other names which we have seen, that Udbhat, Dandi, etc., they are also the followers of Alankar school only. Now, meaning of Alankar. What is the meaning of Alankar? The word Alankar is compound of two roots, that is Alam plus Kar. Alam means to decorate and Kar means to do. Thus it is Alankroti iti Alamkara. Dandin says in his Kavya Darshan, Kavya Shobhkaran Dharman Alankar Prachashate. Okay, those things which decorate the poetry are called Alankar. Now we can see that the word Alankar is divided, or we can say is the combination of two words, that is Alam and Kar, where Alam means to decorate and Kar means to do. બરાબર, અલંકાર જે છે એ બે શબ્દોથી બનેલા છે, that is Alam અને Kar. Alam means કે ડેકોરેટ કરવું અને Kar means કે કંઈક કરવું. ઓકે, સો અલમ ક્રોતિ ઇતિ અલંકાર. બરાબર. Dandi says, Dandi je છે, one of the follower of this school, says that Alam kroti iti alankara. Okay, કાવ્ય દર્શનમાં કહે છે કે કાવ્ય શોભકરણ ધર્મન અલંકાર પ્રચતે. Those things which decorate the poetry are called અલંકાર. એમ કહે છે કે જે વસ્તુ પોએટ્રીને આકર્ષક બનાવે છે, એટ્રેક્ટિવ બનાવે છે, બ્યુટિફાઈઝ કરે છે, એને અલંકાર કહેવામાં આવે છે. Thus, Alankar is a figures of speech which means ornaments or adornments. એટલે આના પરથી આપણે એમ કહી શકીએ છીએ કે અલંકાર જે છે એ figures of speech છે જેનો મતલબ ornaments થાય છે. Just like the women use ornaments to enhance her beauty, Alankar are used essentially to enhance the beauty of poem. Okay, જે રીતે એક સ્ત્રી ઓર્નામેન્ટ્સ પહેરીને સુંદર લાગી શકે છે, બ્યુટિફુલ લાગી શકે છે, એ જ રીતના પોયમને પણ એની બ્યુટી અલંકાર થ્રુ જ મળે છે. ઓકે, એની જે સુંદરતા છે એ વધારે ખીલે છે થ્રુ this alankar only. Okay, just as the women's use ornaments to enhance her beauty, alankars are used essentially to enhance the beauty of poem. Okay, now variance of opinion about numbers. Now variance means difference of opinion about numbers. Numbers of what? Alankars. Okay, there are different followers of these schools, okay, who have different imagination, or we can say different thoughts of different types of alankars. The number of these alankars according to poeticians varies. Mammat gives explanation of 67 alankars in his Kavya Prakash. Vaman explains 31 alankars. Bharat counts 4. Udbhat 41. Rudrat 68. Vagbhat 2 gives 69. Vishwanath 84, Jaydev 100, and so on. Okay, just as the followers vary, the number also varies according to him, and this is the only reason why this theory is not authentically available everywhere. Okay, when I was also studying, okay, I also didn't get that much material for this. Okay, there is very less said about it, because still this topic is debatable, that how many figures of speech are there. Okay, so if we see about ras theory and dhvani theory, we have authentic answers available in net also, in any of the book also, but this alankar theory, we don't have a particular answer or particular PDF or anything available for it, as it is still a debatable topic for many of the poeticians. Okay, so the number varies from scholar to scholar. Okay, these scholars give more stress on the Arth Alankars, they have more importance than the Shabda Alankars. Now, these are the types of Alankars which we are going to study. It is said that these scholars put more stress on Arth Alankars. એ એમ સમજે છે કે અર્થ અલંકાર જે છે એ વધારે મહત્વના છે શબ્દ અલંકાર કરતાં. Okay, chapterization and classification. Bhama is deemed to be the oldest advocate of the Alankar school of poetics. His Kavya Alankar is divided into 6 chapters and contains 398 verses. Likewise, we have seen in Ras theory that Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra is containing about how many chapters. Then Dhvani theory, that in Dhvanyalok, book Dhvanyalok carries 4 uddotas. Likewise, our Kavya Alankar is divided into 6 chapters and contain 398 verses. The first chapter contains 60 verses. It deals with prayojan, that is objective of poetry. Poetry na hetuo શું છે, that is only the topic of discussion in first chapter in Kavya Alankar. કે એના હેતુ શું છે, સેના માટે પોએટ્રી લખાઈ છે. ઓકે, એવરીથિંગ that is seen in prayojan. Then second one is hetu, means why it is essential to write poetry, એના હેતુ શું છે. Okay, then comes the requisite qualification of kavya, means what is essential for a good kavya, એક સારું કાવ્ય કોને કહેવામાં આવે છે, that is the topic of discussion in third chapter. Now this is also a debatable topic and it varies from poetician to poetician. So because see, it is very obvious that the beautiness for everyone is different in different aspects. Okay, some will like heavy makeups, some will like light makeups, some will like full makeup faced. Okay, some will like less makeup, some will like heavy clothes to wear in the function, some will like less heavy clothes. So it varies from person to person. Okay, some if we say that ક્યારેક છોકરી જોવા જવાનું હોય, છોકરો જોવાનો હોય, બરાબર, તો at that time every person's like and dislikes are different. કોકને એવું હોય કે ભાઈ મારે આ ટાઈપની છોકરી જોઈ છે, તો કોકને એમ હોય કે મારે આ ટાઈપની છોકરી જોઈ છે. ઓકે, someone will say that મારે આ ટાઈપનો છોકરો જોઈ છે, મારે ઓલા ટાઈપનો છોકરો જોઈએ. No one will say the same thing like the other have said. Okay, so the beauty for everyone, or we can say the definition of beautiful is different for everyone. Likewise, a definition for good kavya is also different for many people. Then fourth chapter is all about classification of kavya, એટલે કે કાવ્યના કેટલા પ્રકારો છે. Okay, that is being discussed in the fourth chapter. Then comes its constituent elements, means what, કે એમાં કયા કયા elements હોય છે. Okay, that is being talked about in the fifth chapter. Okay, so we will keep up to this and we will meet in the next lecture. Till then, have a look of what we have done up till now. Okay, and yes, we will meet in the next lecture. Till then, have a good day and don't forget to comment your name and roll number in the comment section. Thank you and see you in the next lecture.